Hello, friends. Welcome to tax season. If you've been with me all week, you should not be sweating or wanting to be sick from hearing those words anymore. If it's your first time here, yeah, welcome to tax season. Probably makes you freak out a little bit because it's only January. Some of us don't want to think about taxes yet. And some of us are thinking about taxes, but hearing that it's tax season just makes us feel like we're behind or we haven't done what we should have already done, right? You're not alone. You're not doing anything wrong. Tax season, guys, feels this way by design. It is a 3.5 month span of our year where we are required to collect all of this information from the last year and either stick it into some software or give it to our tax preparer to do. And it feels chaotic. And it's not simple. All right, it's not simple. I am Bree Beers. I'm a CPA, and I am here to hopefully make your tax season easier and calmer by giving you some clear, easy steps to follow, whether you work with my firm or you work with someone else. If you are new here, we are going to just do a real quick rebrief of everything we've talked about this week. And so you're welcome to go back and watch some other videos, but this is just a quick, down and dirty, rapid list of everything we talked about, which the theme of this week was today is the day you got to tell your CPA about XYZ. All right. And that's so you can avoid some last minute scrambling. We have talked about making sure that we tell our accountant or our tax preparer up front, hey, here's some changes that happened, and making sure that our information is accurate. So the first thing we want to do is, even before we even start thinking about collecting documents or filling out organizers or anything like that, is we can review and update, if need be, our contact information. All right, address, email, phone number. At the very minimum, that's got to be correct. Okay, and so for our clients at BBA, at Bree Beers and Associates, the first step we ask you guys to do is go to your profile in your client portal and look at all that information and make sure it's accurate. And that includes your address and your contact information. It includes your filing status, your dependents. All right. If you got married, you got divorced, you had dependents, you got rid of dependents, you had any sort of custody changes, that can be updated in your profile. And if you're not a BBA client, somewhere that needs to be communicated to your tax preparer. Other items that we want to make sure you, as the tax preparer, FYI your accountants before they start working on your return, are moves. If you moved during the year, or if you have some multi-state work, okay, those are not red flags, those are flags that indicate you got to let your accountant know that these things happened. Real estate, if you bought a new property, if you sold a property, if you started renting a property, if you did a refi, those are all events that could have a taxable implication. And so you want to let your accountant know. New businesses, okay, if you started a business, you closed a business, maybe you added a partner, maybe you got rid of a partner. If there are any substantial business changes, that is a do it now, not later, FYI for your accountant. And then anything else, we didn't go over this, but this kind of an additional one is any major one-time events, large investment sales, stock comp activity, maybe crypto activity, any investment activity that's new or had a substantial gain in 2025, you're going to want to let your accountant know. And the reason for this is because your accountant might look at you, Joe Smith, and be like, oh, super simple return. We'll be able to we can bust that out. He usually turns the stuff in, April, 6th, and we're able to bust it out by the 15th. We don't operate that way, but some do. And this year, now you have this huge stock comp, or maybe you have this crypto sale that now adds to the complexity of your return. Okay, so now you can't be done in that quick time like your accountant is used to doing. But also, it could trigger this substantial tax bill, right? And the sooner you can know about a tax bill, the better, all right? So any major one-time events, worth mentioning to your accountant sooner rather than later. So here are two rules that kind of prevent chaos. And we at my firm, okay, so we don't start prep until your file is complete. That is something that helps to alleviate the back and forth and the delays. Is we have to have your organizer, your checklist, and all of your tax docs before we start. Because then we know that you're ready to go. We're not going back and forth with stuff that you're like, oh yeah, I was going to send that next week. We do not even start looking at it until we have everything. All right. The other thing I want to say is I know we're early in the tax season, but one thing I'm going to start to kind of plant the seeds for you guys and is that extensions are normal. All right. If for any reason this year you have to extend, they're normal. Payment should still be made. All right. And we'll talk a lot more about this closer to deadline time. But I just want to put those things out there because, again, chaos is our last, we want to avoid chaos. All right. And so the first thing we can do to avoid chaos is make sure we're giving our accountant a full tax file by the deadline that they give us. And if we don't, we need to understand that extensions are fine. All right. And have a conversation with your accountant about what that means. And we're going to talk about that here too as well. Okay. So I just want you guys to be calm. I want you to be chill. And just remember that filing, paying, they're different. And good tax strategy is about making decisions early enough to stay in control. And that starts this year with tax prep. If you stick around with me long enough, you'll learn that tax prep is actually the last step of the tax path. But right now, we're in tax planning, tax prep season. That's where we're starting. And so the sooner the more we can make anything we can do earlier, sooner rather than later, is going to make the rest of our tax season run more smoothly. All right, so again, my goal of being here is to help make tax season easier for you by giving you these bite-sized little tips to hopefully keep you plugging along so that you're ready to go. And you can then have this simple, repeatable system that you can use again next year. If you are a business owner and you do not work with us and you are looking for a full service tax prep we have audit protection, we do tax planning and strategy throughout the year, book a discovery call with us. Let's see if we're a good fit to help you out. BreeBearCPA.com is our website. And as always, this whole video for educational content only. It's not individual tax advice. So that's it. Have a good one, guys.